Hi, Liz. I wanted to go over your clinical evaluation in person before you go home today. What time are you scheduled to show up to clinical in the morning?
So we definitely have to be here before 7 and make sure our room is set up. I normally show up at 6:15, but I apologize today. I came late. I showed up
Okay.
at 6:45. I have a lot going on at home. I'm stressed. My mom is sick. I was on my phone today, texting my family, making sure she was okay. She had a doctor's appointment, and I didn't get much sleep last night. So I apologize. I overslept and I showed up late. So I'm sorry. And I'm sorry I was on my phone.
Okay. It's all okay. I appreciate your honesty about why you're on your phone today in the OR and, your personal issues. Thank you for your candor. In the future, if you have any personal emergency or issue, could you let me know initially what it is going on? Or consider using a personal day if you think that it may interfere with your clinical performance.
Yes.
I'd also like to discuss some medication errors that you made today. Do you recall the incident with the antibiotics and its significance?
Yeah. So I think I was on autopilot. Every patient gets Ansef 2 grams. I guess I didn't even put two and two together that the patient had a penicillin allergy, and I almost was ready to give Ansef. So that was my bad. I just wasn't even thinking.
Okay. Yes, exactly. And talk to me about the error with the ephedrine. How do you think you can avoid these mistakes in the future?
So with the ephedrine, I heard you say 5, and in my head, I just went to 5 cc's. I know that was stupid, and looking back, that was a really big mistake of mine. I guess in the future, what I should do is close loop communication and verify, repeat what you said and verify that's what you meant when that was your intention. So I apologize for that.
Okay, thank you for your apology. Those are both really great ideas. I also wanted to discuss when the patient's peak pressures climbed after positioning the patient into steep Trendelenburg. Do you understand how patient positions affect anesthetic management?
Yeah, I should. I guess I'm a little bit frazzled this morning, to be honest, and I think me showing up late and all of those things going on kind of made me spiral into a place where I wasn't able to think clearly. So now, now that we're talking about it, I understand about Steve Trendelenburg and how it pushes everything up, the compliance and everything's worse, the diaphragm's pushed towards the head. So now I
Excellent. Yes.
understand about peak pressures, but at the time when you were asking me, I wasn't sure how to answer that question.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and I'm glad you realized that. Your emergent skills need a little bit of work, but can you give me some feedback on what you felt happened today with emergence?
So emergence is still really rusty. It's something that there's a thousand ways to do it, and I've seen it done. I haven't seen a uniform way to do it yet, so it's definitely a skill I need to work on. I guess I'm having trouble with my timing of like reversals, whether we're using Sugamidex or neostigmine, and as far as like how early is it to wake up the patient. I'm still not familiar with the specific surgeries and which ones are quick and which surgeons are quick and a resident's closing, a resident's not closing. So I think that's where some of my confusion comes in, and it's a skill I think I need to work on.
All right. Well, these are all relevant concerns. Emergence does take a little bit of time to get accustomed to. Is definitely a more difficult technique to master than induction or maintenance of anesthesia.
Sure.
So, um, I like to do an OPA, by the way, on most patients while they're still deep.
And I forgot that. Yeah.
And before I reverse the paralytic. So that's my technique. You may hear from other CRNAs or anesthesiologists their techniques that they may not use one at all. But that is just my technique.
That's a good idea.
Just maybe think about to incorporate it into your practice in the future.
Sure.
What do you think went well today?
I think as far as I got my intubation, I got the second IV. I think I was comfortable as the day went on, working with the OR staff and interviewing the patient, doing my pre-op. Yeah, there's a couple, the things we talked about I need to work on, but as far as getting the flow of, seeing the patients and getting them into the OR, I think I'm getting more familiar with that and more comfortable with that.
I agree. I think you did great with all of that. You set up everything correctly for the additional cases throughout the day, and your professionalism and teamwork were outstanding.
Thank you.
You also gave a great handoff report to the PACU.
Thank you.
So just to ask you, how can we use what you learned from today to improve your overall clinical performance?
Well, I definitely think I need to look up ventilator modes and how patient positioning is going to affect that. I really also need to kind of hone in on the steps of emergence and kind of the skills I'm familiar with, and kind of get my groove as far as how I emerge and what a good idea is. I do need to leave my home life at home, and when I come to work, I need to be prepared to work. So I need to get a good night's sleep. I need to be focused, and I'm going to try to show up a lot earlier for my next clinical days.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I know you do have a lot on your plate. We all have hard days, but just, like you said, just try to separate your work and personal life as best as you can, okay? Don't be too hard on yourself, but do try to be a little bit more vigilant in the clinical setting in the future. But overall, I see outstanding improvement from you, okay? And I see a bright future for you. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate your understanding.
I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate your understanding.